Hey, what's up YouTube? Boswell back with another video or car vlog, should I say. It's been a while since I did one. I'm actually headed to Toastmasters right now as we speak, and I'm actually excited. Again, tonight I'm actually leading the Toastmasters meeting. This is my second time leading it, and yeah, again, I'm just very excited too, man. Again, just another skill building when it comes to leadership. And let me say adjust this camera. Again, just another skill building scenario where I'm taking leadership as far as, you know, leading the whole entire meeting, and also just enhancing my speaking skills in front of a crowd, right? Hopefully it's a good turnout tonight. The last few times has been. This is around the time where you know, people are starting to sign up more, especially going into the New Year's. And I'm just excited about it, man. My theme tonight definitely be around Christmas. I'll probably give a few facts that I kind of Googled or whatnot about Christmas and stuff like that. But again, I'm just very excited, man. It's just another check mark, you know, on my skill building list, as far as just, you know, constantly honing those skills of leadership. And that's, you know, one thing I want to talk about tonight is me just thinking back to all the different, you know, times where, you know, just putting in the reps, working in retail management, and the different things that I learned. But the main theme of tonight that I want to talk about when it comes to leadership is accountability, man. Just taking accountability. And so I want to say this. I've been out of retail management now for going on 3, coming up on 4 years, and I still work with my particular sales job that I'm in now. I still work hand in hand with a lot of people in retail, but just on the other side. And so it's interesting seeing those managers now who are in retail management and seeing where they are, because I'm like, man, I was there. And it's this one girl, she's a store manager. She's struggling right now with getting her people to really, like, you know, do what they need to do. And I don't want to say fall in line, but just do their job efficiently, right? And me being, you know, doing this for 15 years, I'm like, I can just tell her, like, look, this is the quickest fix. And it is. And the quickest fix that is just, number one, she has to take accountability, because she's so overwhelmed where she's starting to point the finger, like, where's their fault? It's their fault. It's their fault. You know, she's moving employees out. She's moving managers out. Not getting anybody fired, but she's trading, like, okay, instead of you being my co-manager, I'm going to swap you out for this co-manager, whatever, right? So she's getting a lot of support from her district manager. But when you swap people out, at some point, there's a common denominator, right? And that common denominator is her. It's like, well, look, I've gave you support, right? I moved people out, I moved people in, you know, whatever you've asked, I supported you for X amount of time. And at some point, you know, something has to change. It has to start working, because if not, then we have to start looking at you, right? And I believe that's where her Achilles heel is, where her weakness is that she's just not taking accountability. Because the number one fix she could do is just follow up. That's really it. Like, if you say, all right, I'm gonna give you 10 tasks and I need you to be done in 10 hours with them, so that's one task an hour, right? And you there working with this other manager, if an hour go past and task 1 not done, you got to follow up. Because if not, then guess what? If they don't get that one task done, then that task goes on to the next shift, right? Because nobody followed up. Now, granted, things happen where those incidents are going to be like, look, we really couldn't get to it. You know, it just was a crazy situation, right? That's business. Those situations are going to come up. But when it's basic things and it's just a lack of follow-up, yeah, that's going to trickle down to everybody else. And that was one of the things where I recently spoke to her, was like, look, let me give you what made me successful here, right? And that was just the point where I started not continuously working in the business, but I started working on the business. And that's a different mentality, right? And what I mean by that is, when you working in the business, that means you're very, very, very hands-on, right? You're hands-on with like all the daily tasks. You're hands-on with like the cleanup part. It's just very hands-on, physical. Now, when you switch your mentality to working on the business, that's when you're managing and delegating, right? Now, as a manager, you still have to manage the operations of the business, right? Make sure the I's are dotted, T's are crossed, paperwork is filed the right way. You know, your team is trained and developed. That's what, the only time you should really start touching anything is if you're showing another employee how to do a certain task the right way. Or you follow them back up like, hey, you did it 80%, but let me show you how to do the other 20% so it's done 100% correctly, right? That's when you should be hands-on, not on the everyday task. Now, that doesn't mean there never won't be a time where you won't get your hands dirty. But when you at that level, when you got over 30 employees to manage, you can't be in there doing their job as well. It doesn't make sense, right? And so, you know, that's what, you know, I was talking, because I know the district manager, right? When I worked at this company years ago, she was my employee. Like, I was her boss, right? I was her manager. So she knows I know my stuff. You know, I did it at the highest level. And there's a story behind when I got fired from this company and why I got fired. And I was young, right? But I worked at the upper echelon. When I was at this company, you know, we were number 1 in the state, number 2 in the company at the time. And this is a major retail gas station chain. But, you know, these are $1 million stores. So you don't have time to be every day, especially in management, just doing hands-on stuff like stocking coolers and mopping floor. You don't have time for that. It's so much other things going on, dealing with vendors, right? Making sure paperwork is right because there's so much money involved. Dealing with training and development, dealing with corporate emails that's coming down for things that have to be, you know, done in order when it comes to like food safety. It's just so many moving parts, man. Like the detail cleaning of things, because you get food audits, you get customer service audits. So those are the things you have to manage and delegate, make sure your team on point, right? But you don't always have to be hands-on with you personally going to stock the cooler, you personally being on the floor mopping. And again, not saying you can't do those things, but at that point, that's not what you're doing. You're managing a team to do that, right? And that's the part that she's missing, because she's got so frustrated where she's like, man, my team just not responding to me, and so I'm gonna just do it. And now she's getting burned out, right? And now she's starting to point the finger like, well, I'm doing the job and they're not doing it. You missing it, right? She's missing it. And so today when I went to go see her, I followed up with her because the energy was different in the store. So I'm like, okay, some good energy in here today, right? And so, because typically when I come in, she got a smug on her face because she overwhelmed. But today I came in, she was smiling, and you know, we talked business or whatever. But yeah, so that's the thing I see she has to work on. But the point of the video is taking accountability. And so until you at a point where you're ready to take accountability and say, man, it's all my fault, I didn't do what I needed to do to manage the business, to manage my employees and manage myself, it's never gonna work. So where am I going with this when it comes to personal development with husbands and stuff, right? If things are not operating in your home the right way, right? If your kids aren't doing what they need to do, your wife ain't on point, y'all ain't on the same page, right? Things aren't moving how you need to move, so things are copacetic in your household. You have to take accountability as a man and say, all right, what am I not doing? Where am I lacking the leadership part of my household, right? You know, why am I not training and developing my kids? And when I say train and develop, where's the follow-up with, did they clean their room? Where's the follow-up, did they do their homework, right? Where's the follow-up on, hey, I see your grades are dipping a little bit. What are we doing to fix them, to get them back up, right? Where's the follow-up with making sure they doing things for their personal health? Not being on a video game all night. Make sure they brush their teeth, washing their butt the right way. You get what I'm saying? I know all this sound small and insignificant, but it's not. Your job is to train and develop your kids to make sure that they're ready for the world, so when they got their own household to manage, they're on point, right? Even a little thing. I always say, like, listen, you on some level you have to run your household like a military. You know what I mean? And that doesn't mean like, I mean, on some level you can say, yeah, you know, you being a leader, like, yo, it's got to run this way. It's kind of a dictatorship, but on some level, you do want to allow your kids to be able to speak up for themselves, so they can articulate why they think things should be a certain way. You got to let them have a voice in it, right? Because you don't want them to get out in life and they suppress their voice and they feel like they can't speak out for things that are really wrong. So I'm all for that. Like, if your kids feel like something's not right as far as the task they've been presented, yeah, allow them to speak. That don't mean they right. But then you explain to them and you correct their behavior, or you correct their a viewpoint to make sure that it's right. There's a reason behind everything. Like, there's a reason why they need to clean their room. There's a reason why they have certain chores. There's a reason why they need to clean up behind themselves, and maybe they have to wash dishes. Maybe they have to clean their bathroom. You know what I mean? There's a reason behind all that. Maybe your son has to cut grass now he's at that certain age, right? There's a reason. There's a value proposition in that, right? You're teaching them, hey, if you're under this house, yeah, you don't have to go out every day and work so you can pay bills and stuff, but you have to bring value in the house, meaning you have to do your part. And so, but all that comes with taking accountability, with training and develop, to say, all right, if those things are not happening when it comes to your kids, right, you have to take accountability because you didn't put your house in order, right? Now, when it comes to your wife, you know, if y'all not on the same page when it comes to finance, and really quick, I just did a reaction video last night. I mean, great video, man, with this couple. And again, this is something that I'm looking to potentially incorporate even in my house to be more organized, being more intentional. But every Sunday, this couple, you know, him and the wife, they sit down and they go over like different bullet points weekly. And I think from what I remember, like, one was like obviously like travel, one was the weekly budget, another one was finance, investments, and just weekly to do stuff, right? And again, you can create your own bullet points on whatever worked for your family, but I just thought that was very powerful. That way there's no confusion on what's going on weekly, right? Just individual personal things like, hey, you know, I got this going on, she got this going on, my wife, the kids have this going on. And then, you know, the next thing, maybe, hey, let's talk about budget, you know, how we are with our savings, how we are with our investments, how are we with our, you know, 401k, whatever retirement plan, right? The next thing may be travel. Hey, where are we trying to go this year, 2025? Chicago, I don't know, New York, you know, maybe want to go overseas to London. You know, what's that budget looking like? All right, what's that itinerary looking like? You see what I'm saying? Like, it's the communication piece, right? And again, you can put whatever categories you want in that with your wife, but have you taken accountability to lead to do that? Have you put that in order? Have you got your house in order for things to flow that way, right? Or you just letting the house just run? And that's the problem, man. For a lot of men, I get it, a lot of men haven't been in leadership roles to understand how to manage a household or even manage a business. I get it. But if you want things to go in a flow, if you want things to be in order so there's no chaos, you got to step up and become accountable to yourself first. And that's really the message I'm really drilling tonight, is that self-accountability. So really quick to recap, like I said, I gave you guys the example with the young lady who was the store manager and how things aren't going how she needs to go because she hasn't taken accountability with herself to recognize that things aren't in order. She knows they're not in order, but she hasn't recognized why. The why behind it, they're not in order. She just see that stuff is just going crazy, right? And I say that to say I know that because I spoke to her personally. And that's one thing I tried to drill in her too. Like, look, I get it. People gonna listen to how they want to listen. But I did it at the highest level. You know what I mean? So, but swinging back, husbands, you guys have to get your house in order. You have to take self-accountability for things to get right, man. So again, no relationship is perfect. We all can work on things. And that's what I say. Even though me and my wife do discuss these things, travel, finance, what we got going on weekly, right? We have our own different categories, but I like being able to really sit down and be intentional. Now, we got our Sundays where we're intentional about spending time together, but I'm really leaning to having that be incorporated, just so it's in black and white. We're very intentional and there's no confusion, and just to enhance our relationship. You know what I mean? I just think it only enhances it to bring that another tool in play to be able to talk about the different categories that reflect our life. And so, you know, guys, you got homework to do, man. Y'all have homework to do, you know. Again, but you have to not only see what's going on, you have to understand why these things are going on. If things aren't going well in your household, when it comes to things aren't in order, right? So think about that. But hopefully me sharing some of my background kind of gives some insight to how my mind works about having order versus chaos, because I just don't like it. I do not like things to be out of order. I'm very stringent about that because I've been broke too many times, and I know how it made my life spiral out of control early in my life. I know how not being disciplined and being not having my house in order mentally, spiritually, and financially, how that doesn't allow me to grow in my life. And I say that to you guys out there, man. Really audit yourselves, really take accountability, and have some self-reflection if your house isn't in order, right? Watch this video again if you like. What was his points, the key takeaway points, right? Those key KPIs, key point indicators, right? Key point objectives. What was those, right? Watch the video again and just really like take in what I'm really saying. So anyway, that's the video for tonight. You know, drop a comment below. Tell me what you think, man. Where you guys at in your process? You know, is this something that you can potentially use based on what I'm saying tonight? Also, subscribe to the Husband Code if it's your first time watching. If you've been watching for a while, go ahead and subscribe. Also, you know, hit that like button, man. Let's shoot this video out. It's very important. Let's shoot it out to the internet. And then lastly, hit that notification bell, because I'm dropping videos like this every day. Right? Y'all have a blessed night. Man, I'm about to rock out Toastmasters. We're going to get it in. And we're going to keep winning with the skill building. Man, 2025 coming up. Christmas coming up. Listen, we up, man. We all the way up. Ooh, I had a great workout in the gym today. I had shoulders. Man, I ain't even gonna get into it, man. Just know I had a great workout. I'm lit right now. I'm ready to get it in. Going to my next thing. So anyway, man, y'all have an awesome night. I will talk to y'all later. Peace.